Different companies have different ways of calculating customer acquisition costs. So let's just start with the simple formula, which is CAC equals MCC divided by CA. Basically, that stands for customer acquisition cost equals your total marketing campaign cost divided by the total number of customers acquired, CA. So, for example, if you spent $5,000 on marketing costs and you got 10 customers from that, each customer would have a acquisition cost of $500. Obviously, it's not as simple as that. So there is a more complex formula, which is CAC, or customer acquisition cost equals MCC plus W plus S plus PS plus O divided by CA. That is customer acquisition cost equals total marketing campaign cost plus any wages associated with marketing and sales, plus the total cost of all marketing and sales software. This could be your e-commerce platform, automated marketing platforms. If you're using something to do A/B testing or paid analytics tracking service, any software that you use in relation to your marketing, plus professional services for marketing and sales. These could be designers or consultants, plus any other overhead related to your marketing sales. Maybe it's your cell phone, maybe you're renting an office, all those divided by the total number of customers acquired. Maybe we're spending $500,000 on marketing costs, such as Facebook ad spend. Maybe we've spent $1 million on wages associated with marketing and sales commissions. Think of managers or just a sales team. Maybe we've spent another $100,000 on all of our email marketing tools or split testing tools, server costs to host our website. Maybe we hired a design agency or consultant and spent 250 grand on our design materials, like our website, banner ad materials, brochures, anything we can think of that would fall under that category. And then maybe we spent another 10 grand on other overhead related to marketing and sales. Maybe these are cell phone bills or data plans. So that's going to give us a total of $1,860,000 that we would have spent on all of this. We're selling a product and we actually get 10,000 customers from that campaign. So we're going to divide 1,860,000 by 10,000. And that's going to be our customer acquisition cost, which is going to be $186 to acquire each customer. As you can see, customer acquisition costs, it's a very important metric to measure. If not one of the most important metrics in digital marketing and e-commerce. And it's especially important to compare it right along with your customer lifetime value, or LTV. So we have a ratio, which is LTV to CAC, which means that it's just super important to know the ratio for how much value you're making from customers in relation to the actual cost of acquiring them. For example, if your ratio is any less than 1-to-1, you're basically going to fail, and you're going to fail fast. And this means for every customer that you're acquiring, you would just be losing money. A good example for us web designers is maybe we're offering a service and we're only charging $500 for what prospects are calling simple websites for $500. But the truth is, if you spend 50 hours browsing Craigslist and sites like Upwork, and you're replying to job posts and emails before you land the client, and again, you're maybe spending 50 hours, and maybe it takes you 40 hours to complete a site because they're asking for a bunch of revisions and it just goes way overboard to complete the website. At that rate, you're going to basically only be making about $5.50 an hour. But if you take into account any fees like the cost of your software, your computer, your internet, phone bill, maybe you have a meeting with this client, pay for gas, time, parking meter fees. This is obviously not a good trajectory. So stop. That's why you need to track this kind of stuff. If your ratio is 1-to-1, you're still losing money because of time and energy that you're investing. It's like putting $500 in to acquire a customer and then just getting $500 back for the value of a sale. There's zero return. Again, you're possibly losing money. You've invested time and energy in it. And if there's zero return, there's no point investing your money for zero return. It's kind of like you wouldn't buy a stock that got 0% interest rates. It's kind of the same thing with acquiring a customer. Even if your ratio is 2 to 1, you still need to improve. Let's say you've spent $500 on Facebook ads and you've made a $1,000 sale. You've doubled your money and even made $500 in profit. You could take that initial $500 and put it back into your ad campaign and hopefully make another $1,000 sale. That's okay. At least you're in the black. You're not operating in the red, but it still needs improvement, especially if you're going to consider other costs such as product creation, design, etc. You need to take into account and determine what percentage of the lifetime value of the customer is a profit. For example, if the campaign made you a $500 profit, you want to take a look at what percentage of that $500 profit is really your net profit. If we start operating at a 3-to-1 ratio of lifetime value to customer acquisition cost, then we're beginning to operate at a healthy customer acquisition cost. If we invested $500 to acquire a customer worth $1,500, it starts to give us something that we can work with. And again, only if the customer lifetime value is actually profitable when you fulfill the offer. Obviously, 4-to-1 is better than 3-to-1, but what we can't do here is make the mistake of taking out all of our profits. At this point and beyond, we should begin to reinvest more of our returns for faster growth. For example, if we're spending $500 and are profitable with a lifetime value to customer acquisition cost, we had it a 3-to-1 ratio and we're earning $1,500 a sale. When we reach a ratio of 4-to-1 and earn $2,000, we shouldn't just take that extra $500 and go blow it on a fancy hotel or expensive dinner. We want to put that back into our ad campaign and hopefully earn an extra $2,000 sale. So if we're hitting a 5-to-1 ratio, we could increase that amount we're reinvesting to $1,000 from a $2,500 sale and turn it into another 2 sales and so on. Obviously, it's not going to be so simple as I'm explaining, and you should always scrutinize marketer math. This stuff gets tricky when you begin to run multiple ad campaigns and marketing channels. And for example, you may have a pay-per-click campaign running on YouTube, and then someone sees a retargeting campaign on Facebook after they've visited your website. And then maybe they opt in and they watch a webinar, and then they don't buy until after they've received a series of follow-up email campaigns from. If you're spending a significant amount of money across multiple channels, start attributing things such as the amount of time or resources you're spending per channel, and then break these formulas down even further so that you're able to analyze your customer acquisition cost by channel. We don't want to make things too complicated, but we do want to make sure that we're able to deploy more energy and resources into the channels that are working and remove it from those channels that are not working so well. So when you're just starting out, you may only have 1 or 2 channels and it's not too difficult to manage, but you should still track your time. I often see people spend a lot of time on social media without really accounting for the time that they spend. And that is a cost. Even if you spend 15 minutes a day on it, that adds up. But usually that's not the case. You go in for a few minutes. If you create, say, a graphic for a post, or you're looking for an image to add, you log in, you upload that thing, you're checking the stream. So it can really be a time killer. I often make the same mistake when I'm creating content or lessons for this course. I'll just start writing or designing without putting too much thought into the actual cost associated with the time I'm spending on it. Sometimes I will invest as much as 20 or 30 hours into writing and editing and recording just one lesson. I think in the beginning, we can probably get some traction, but as things begin to grow or scale, and it's really required to be accounting for writing or designing or planning campaigns, just doing the work, it immediately starts to affect your bottom line. When you're doing this, first take a look at your personal finances. And what if you did all the roles in the creation of your product and you've spent 2,000 hours doing everything from design and copywriting to marketing and sales? Or if you hire a team to help you Are customer lifetime values and customer acquisition costs ratios healthy enough to enable you to grow? Or are you going to lose money? For example, would your net profit from your customer lifetime value be covering your personal financial needs after customer acquisition costs? And if not, take a look at if you're going to be able to adjust your prices for a higher lifetime customer value. Can you lower acquisition costs by spending less on certain channels or tools? There's just a lot of variables to consider. If we stop paying attention or stop tracking, then we're surely going to get some unpleasant surprises. So we can get really deep into all sorts of variables or different approaches with customer acquisition costs. If you do have any questions, please leave me a comment. And in the next series of videos, I hope to walk you through several spreadsheets that we can use to actually help us project and track these metrics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.